Hey there, my love. I am back. We had some major phone storage issues last week, so we finally have freed up some space and figured out all the tech, and I am able to record another video for you. So thanks for your patience. And today's transmission wants to be about coming home. At the time of this recording, I think we are the 13th of July, and so we're in Cancer season. We have a Cancer new moon, and Cancer is all about home is where the heart is. And coming home to yourself, having that protective shell of the crab to remind you that it is safe for you to have boundaries and really nourish yourself, protect your peace, all the things. So today, to bring in the horse wisdom and medicine, we're going to talk about why the way of the horse is the way back home to you, and the different layers and levels that coming home to yourself can involve and entail, especially if you want to take a hit from horse and be in full alignment, be in energetic coherence in body, mind, and spirit. And so let's break these down one by one. Let's start off with the body, with the physical body, and why it is so important to come back home to your physical body, to fully land in your sacred body temple and be present with your life, with your relationships, with your relationship with horse, right? And all the things. And why, in so many ways, learning the art of embodiment, of again, fully landing in your body and really shifting, consciously, intentionally shifting the energetic frequency of the entire body, mind, and spirit to be on the same page, to be in alignment. And so the first piece that I want to cover with regards to the body is that cultivating a practice to connect to your body, to your body's messages, to your body's wisdom, to simply being with your body instead of something that we can do. I know I've done it in the past a lot, can still slip into it, where we are really disconnecting from the messages that our body is trying to send us, right? Overriding maybe the fact that we feel tired and need to slow down and, take a nap or practice some self-care. And it can be really hard when we have grown up in this hustle culture, when you are a high achieving yet deep feeling horsewoman. It can feel like there's never enough time to do all the things, and I am here to remind you that actually when you slow down and get present and shift the way you are being when you are doing things, in addition to finding your own pace and rhythm and pausing and resting and reflecting, right? It's a dance, and there are many different facets to this. But as you cultivate that practice, that art, that connection with your body and your rhythm and your inner wisdom and intuition, as you do that, you can actually begin to master the art of slowing down to speed up, where when you are actually you're doing things in a way that's so much more present. You're doing things in a way that is more fully landing, instead of, for example, going through the motions and not being fully present, and then therefore having it not really have the impact that it could were you fully in your power? Were you fully present? And this applies to your relationship with horse, right? If we are, again, going through the motions of whatever routine or practice you might have with your horse, as opposed to being fully present in the moment, we're going to miss things. We're going to miss the messages that they're giving us. We're going to miss the subtle signs, maybe that, that they're not focused, or maybe they're, sensing something in the environment and, are getting ready to spook or do something unsettling. Like, we are going to be so much better at connecting to them and their messages and their wisdom and the environment when we are fully present, as opposed to kind of just showing up again and going through the motions. So that practice, that art, it really is just that. It is a new way of being. We can get again into routines, get into a rut, and it can really take some conscious, intentional devotion and commitment to this new way of being and developing the new practices. And I just want you to know that if you're here and that resonates, and perhaps you've started and maybe fell off the horse, I want you to know that it's absolutely fine. You get to be human too, and you get to dust yourself off and get back on, okay? The other piece that I really want to add to this, in terms of, like, I know, we can, especially as women, I think we can be really good at like multitasking. And while, again, I'm not going to say that everything doesn't have a time and a place. However, as a regular habit, if that's something you're doing a lot, you will be, again, kind of overriding your intuition and your body's signals, and you're going to miss the signal, okay? And or more likely to, I shall say. And while I think some people, more so men, not to generalize, but there's that saying that men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti, and I've talked about this in the past, because in general they can compartmentalize things so much easier, the emotions, the work, the family, the relationships, etc. Whereas women, we're like spaghetti. Everything gets woven together. And if we're having a bad day, if we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, if we've got something or someone we're worried about, it can leak or seep into the other things that we are doing. And this is why it becomes so important for us to prioritize our energy first, our frequency first, our self-care and body love first. And so for me, the essence, the core message of, even if we bring in the Cancer, the sign of Cancer, and home is where the heart is, it's also about really coming home to and tending to our vessel, our sacred body temple. And yes, that expands out into our environment and our home space and all the things. But the first home, the most important home, the one that goes with you wherever you go, is your body, okay? And so that is the first piece that I want to touch on. The second piece that I want to touch on is the energetic, right? The energetic, which includes the emotional, which includes the mental, and even includes the spiritual. And so if you think about it, that's a lot of layers and dimensions, right? And there's a lot there that is unseen, that is unconscious, subconscious. Excuse me. And so this can seem kind of like intangible, right? To do the inner work, to do the spiritual hygiene, and really check in on our energy and our energetic frequency and how we are feeling, and what our overall vibe is, right? All of those pieces are like it's all connected, right? So chances are, if you're feeling kind of blah, or your energy is maybe feeling a little, I don't know, uninspired, or tired, or maybe stuck or stagnant energy, if you have that energy, chances are your body is also feeling a bit sluggish, and that can show up in different ways. Maybe it's in your digestion, maybe it's in, having some like aches and pains or heaviness in your physical body. And so there's always a connection. And, we can, when you like, all paths lead back home, right? And so when you start to practice the body care and the body love, you will notice that your energy and emotions will also feel better. If it doesn't, and there's a disconnect, that's where we need to go deeper, right? Again, especially as the deep feeler and sensitive soul, aka dark horse. So you really, my hair is just doing some weird things today. Anyway, so we really need to be mindful of all of that. And we also don't want to let our emotions kind of run the show, right? It could be our inner child that is actually running our, decisions when it comes to maybe our horse, maybe our money, maybe our business, right? And that's where we, again, want to be mindful as to the deeper why and the deeper motivation, and again, those feelings of either fear or doubt or resistance that are ultimately motivating our actions and decisions and choices on a regular basis, and especially the big decisions, right? And so those layers are important. And then I really want to take a moment to touch on the spiritual here, your spiritual connection, your spiritual practice, whatever your orientation is. Feel free to use the word that aligns for you: God, spirit, divine intelligence, source energy. I interchangeably use them all. Are you practicing plugging into source? Okay, and I've used this analogy before, and I'll probably use it again, but we plug our phones in every single day, right, to charge the phone. So how are you charging yourself up? How are you sourcing yourself? For me, the more I plug into source and the God within me, there are different ways, and it's going to be what works for me may not be what works for you. But the more I cultivate that practice, the more sourced I feel, the more energy I have, the more vitality I have, the more alive I have, because I feel, guided and led and aligned, right? And this is where that energetic coherence that we were talking about in body, mind, and spirit, when that's all on the same page, now we allow our life to be the arrow that brings us towards our vision, our target, our goal. When we are out of alignment in some way, when maybe our emotions are feeling one way and our mind is, telling us something else, and our body is, chances are, reflecting what your emotions are, there's a disconnect. And then not only is that arrow not gonna quite fly where you want it to, but you're giving mixed signals out to the universe, to God, to your relationships, to your horse, right? You're saying one thing to your horse, and your body language is saying something else. And we know that they know better, right? They know that something is off, and that can create, again, that disconnect, a little bit of confusion, and therefore your connection and communication is going to be kind of not clear or interrupted. There's going to be static or noise, both ways, right? You won't be receiving things clearly, and they are not going to understand what you want as clearly either. All right. And so for me, when I think about coming home, and the way of the horse is the way back home, this is what I'm talking about. This is the coming home piece. And the last piece I'll add before we wrap this up is that coming home to yourself is not only to your body and its wisdom and your emotions and your mental, thoughts or belief systems and structures, and your spiritual connection. But to take things a little deeper is like, are you clear, crystal clear around your core values and your vision and your goals and dreams and desires? Again, take whatever words resonate best with you. But when you're not clear on who you are and your core values as a starting point, then it's easier again to get pulled in all these different directions. It's easier now more than ever in this age of information to get distracted and also get dysregulated, and then you get overwhelmed, and then you are disconnected from your original goal, intention, priority, desire, right? And this is where we have to have fierce focus and discernment around where we are putting our intention, where we are investing our time, energy, and resources in. And so this brings me so beautifully to the archetype that I've really been working with a lot lately, and that is the Fire Horse Queen. And in case you're new to me, I have a system that I downloaded with 5 different energetic archetypes based on the 5 elements of traditional Chinese medicine, because I have a rich background as a renegade holistic vet for over 2 decades, where I integrated Chinese medicine, acupuncture, herbal medicine, body work, energy medicine, and beyond, getting to work with hundreds and hundreds of horses and their humans, and really attuning to their shared field and helping them heal. And as a result of that lived experience and embodied wisdom, I then downloaded different levels of my soul's work that I am here to share with my high achieving, deep feeling horsewomen on the rise. And these are the women who I believe, if you're watching this and that resonates with you, we are the dark horses. We are the ones who grew up, chances are, feeling like you didn't fit in, which means, my love, you are here to stand out. You were born to lead. And so my job is to help you take that to the next level, to activate you to a higher truth, a higher potential, a higher purpose, and beyond, to help you unleash your truest self and remember your magic and why you're here. So if that resonates for you and you're interested in learning a bit more, not only on how to work with the Fire Horse Queen, again, which is the archetype that I've been working with a lot lately. We're in the year of the Fire Horse, and of course it's associated with the element of fire. But if you want to learn more about working with her to unleash your inner alchemist, because that is her gift, that's her superpower, is the alchemy, and learn how to master the art of alchemy, then I want to invite you over the next few days. I am going to be going live. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm a little nervous, but getting the nudge. I'm going to be going live for, I think, a 3-part series where we're going to go deeper into awakening your inner Fire Horse Queen and unleashing your inner alchemist, so that you can create, or rather magnetize, magic, miracles, and momentum for the rest of 2026. If you are like me and you're like, oh my gosh, we are in the middle of July and I had all of these goals and we haven't quite, gotten to all of them yet. It is go time. It is time for us to rise. And again, not from a place of hustle, not from a place of fear, not from a place of pressure, but rather from a place of passion and pleasure and fun and devotion and embodiment, divine feminine embodiment, which is part of the medicine of the horse and the lead mare, who is another archetype which we will be touching on as well in my series. So if you enjoyed this, I hope you will join me. I'm planning 1 o'clock Eastern to go live tomorrow, Tuesday, the 14th of July, and then every day thereafter at 1 p.m. for 3 days in a row. I hope you will join me. I'm so excited for this. And yeah, if you received value, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me some love. Let me know how this landed for you if you have any questions. And don't forget to hit that notification bell the next time a video drops. And obviously I shared we'll be going live tomorrow at 1 p.m. I've only ever done it, to be honest with you, like once or twice before. So I'm going to try to show up a few minutes early because of the tech is a little bit different, I believe. So I'd love to see you live so I can interact with you, connect with you, answer your questions. And yeah, I'm going to leave it with that. Let me know your greatest takeaway below. I love you. Happy Monday. Ciao for now. Namaste. Bye.